is currently in the shop, so when I found myself in a neighboring town to pick up my rental car for the week, I decided to make a day of it and treat myself to a little adventure, which in my case just means walking around downtown, doing a little bit of window shopping, and a light amount of retail therapy. I'm currently reading Long Live the Posthorn by Vigdis Hjorth, which is the fourth Vigdis Hjorth novel I'm reading this month. I really went on a big binge of her books. I thought there were only 4 of her novels that had been translated to English, but I think that's actually not the case. I think there's more. I read Will and Testament first, and it was devastating. It was searing, it was beautiful, and it was just such an experience of a novel. And then I found myself just completely gripped by Hjorth's writing style, which I would describe as very spare. I don't think that her writing style is typically beautiful or gorgeous, and like her prose is actually quite simple and straightforward. I don't really find her prose to be beautiful in the way that I find maybe Herman Melville's prose to be beautiful, yet there is something so compelling about Hjorth's novels, probably because of how honest they feel and how just direct they feel as these portraits of an individual's psychological situation. Will and Testament is a very simple, straightforward book about a situation that is not straightforward, and the way that Hjorth manages to present these incredibly complex psyches of characters, present them in ways where you understand their emotional landscape, their very tumultuous emotional landscape, and the way that she just dives into their heads and doesn't look away from their obsessions, really allows these characters to live out their obsessions on these pages, I think feels so honest and true and real. I have just been loving reading all of Vigdis Hjorth this month. Long Live the Posthorn I think is a little bit of a departure from her other books, which the three that I've read so far are Will and Testament, Is Mother Dead, and the third one was If Only. And I think those three books are really her more autobiographical books. They're all novels. Technically, they're all fiction, and they all technically have different main characters, and yet they're mostly the same person. You can tell that they're mostly the same person because they all three novels have kind of like the same core cast, which I would describe as the main character, who is kind of like Vigdis Hjorth's self-insert, if you will. And then there are her parents with whom she has a very difficult relationship. There is her sister, and then there is the character of the professor. This cast of characters in all three novels rotates with who is the main focus. In Will and Testament, I would say the main focus is on the narrator's relationship with her father. In Is Mother Dead Yet, it's with her mother. And then in If Only, focuses on her relationship with the professor. Long Live the Posthorn is a little bit of a departure from those three in that it doesn't seem to be about Vigdis Hjorth herself. It's really more about this character who is very disillusioned and is not super happy with her life. It's set in the winter, and it just is sort of gray and dreary. And on a gray, winter, dreary day, I felt a certain kinship with the main character. I'm still very early on in the book, even though it's quite short. I'm excited to read more of it, and it does feel a little bit refreshing to be out of that sort of main wheelhouse that Hjorth has been writing in for the last three books that I've read of hers. I'm enjoying this one. This one has more of a plot than the other three books as well. I would say the other three books are really more just like these psychological portraits of the main character and not really concerned with plot. Also wanted to do a little haul of the retail therapy that I did while I was out. I was accosted by the Girl Scout cookie stand when I was out and about, so I bought some Samoas. These are my favorite Girl Scout cookie always. I was a Girl Scout myself at one point. It's always really sweet to see Girl Scouts because I just remember being so young and selling Girl Scout cookies in front of Vaughn's or Albertsons or whatever. I feel so grown up when I buy Girl Scout cookies myself now. There was quite the density of bookstores in the downtown I was visiting. Shouldn't have been surprised by this. It's a college town, but it was a nice surprise to me at least at the time because I was just wandering around and I kept seeing bookstores and I didn't buy a ton of books, but it was just nice to walk in and peruse a cover or two before ducking out back into the gray, dreary Saturday that was today. At one of the bookstores, which I really loved, it was 2 stories inside this sort of like market hall thing. I bought this tea actually. And the cashier told me that this was her favorite herbal blend, and I really like to have herbal tea at night before bed because it doesn't have caffeine, so I hopefully will enjoy this. They also had chocolate mint rooibos and ginger snap rooibos, which maybe I should have gotten those. They had a 3 for $25 deal, but I'm trying to be more responsible, so I only got this one. Peace of mind. I was also attracted to the name of this blend. And the final thing that I bought while I was out is an actual book. In the Land of the Cyclops, essays by Karl Ove Knausgaard. Hope I got that right. Following in my Norwegian literary adventures, I was really interested in reading Knausgaard. I think he is somewhat associated with Vigdis Hjorth. I remember listening to a podcast from the LRB and they mentioned Knausgaard, but I don't remember the details. And I just know Knausgaard as well because he's a fairly popular figure among like literary fiction circles, and I am a little intimidated by his work, to be honest, so I thought that starting with essays might be a good place to dip my toes into his oeuvre. I think I'm going to read one tonight, actually, because I started reading one when I picked this up in the bookstore, and it was very fascinating. So fascinating, and this was only $10 because it's a used copy, so we love used bookstores. To be honest, I'm not feeling the best right now, mostly because of the aforementioned car situation. So it was nice to be able to walk around and get my mind off things, and just shopping I think is actually really therapeutic for me, even if I don't buy anything, just because it's nice to have the sensory feedback of like holding things and smelling things and talking to people. It just feels nice to be out in the world and interact with physical objects and not just be cooped up at home. So yeah, I hope you all have been having a wonderful time. I really am getting so behind on filming videos, but I will hope to see you soon. Really just trying to take it easy right now with my car situation and general life. I'm not feeling the best, but wanted to say hello. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Until then, take care.